Someone is crazy in love with you, but this relationship is forbidden, my child. Take a moment right now to just stop whatever you are doing. Close your eyes for a second if you can, and take a deep breath. I want you to listen to your own heartbeat and quiet the noise around you. There is a reason you are here listening to this. There is a reason this specific message found its way to you today. In the vastness of the universe, there are no accidents. There are no random coincidences. Everything is energy, and energy moves where it is meant to go. You found this because your soul is already asking the questions that I am about to answer. There is a specific person on your mind. Maybe their face popped into your head the moment I started speaking. Maybe it is a name that you try not to say out loud, but it echoes constantly in the back of your thoughts. You need to know something very important about this connection. You are not imagining it. You are not making it up. You are not crazy for feeling a presence that seems to linger around you, even when you are physically alone. There is someone out there who is completely captivated by you, but there is a heavy silence between you. This isn't a simple crush. This isn't just someone thinking you are attractive or interesting. This is deep. This is heavy. But this relationship, this connection, falls under the category of forbidden. And that word, forbidden, carries so much weight. It implies that there is a wall. It implies that no matter how much love is there, something is blocking the path. Because of this block, you might feel confused. You might feel like you are waiting for a train that is never going to arrive. But you need to understand the reality of what is happening behind the scenes. There are two major truths you need to grasp to find peace in this situation. Today, we are going to go deep into the first truth. You have to understand that this person's silence is not empty. Most people think that if someone isn't calling, isn't texting, or isn't showing up, it means they don't care. We are taught that action equals love. But in a forbidden connection, the opposite is often true. The silence is not an absence of feelings. It is a container for feelings that are too big to be let out. This person thinks about you obsessively, but they don't do it in a light, happy way. They do it with a sense of heaviness and intensity. They are not just daydreaming, they are struggling. You have entered their life like a storm they were not prepared for. You have shaken the foundation of who they thought they were. And because of that, they are terrified. They feel a magnetic pull toward you that defies all logic, and it scares them because they cannot control it. Think about the person in your mind. They are likely maintaining a very controlled exterior. To the rest of the world, they probably look calm. They look like they have their life together. They look like they are moving forward. But that is a mask. Inside, there is a war happening. This is the first major thing you must understand. This person is fighting themselves every single day because of you. They are not fighting you. They are fighting their own heart. Imagine waking up every morning, and the very first thought in your head is a person you cannot be with. That is their reality. They wake up, and you are there. They try to push the thought away. They try to focus on their work, their family. their obligations, or their current partner. They try to drown you out with the noise of their daily life. But it doesn't work. The more they try to push you down, the more you float to the surface. This is what makes the connection forbidden. It is not that the universe doesn't want you together. It is that the circumstances of the 3D world are in the way. Maybe they are married or in a committed relationship. Maybe there are massive cultural differences or religious barriers. Maybe there is a distance of thousands of miles, or perhaps a professional boundary that cannot be crossed. Whatever the wall is, it looks solid to them. It looks like a mountain they cannot climb. So, what do? They restrain themselves. They hold back. This requires an immense amount of energy. Every time they want to reach out to you, they have to physically stop their hand. Every time they see something that reminds them of you, a song, a color, a specific phrase, they have to force themselves to look away. They are constantly policing their own emotions. They are the jailer of their own heart. This internal battle is exhausting for them. If you have felt sudden waves of tiredness, or sudden shifts in your mood, where you feel sad or frustrated for no reason, you might be picking up on their energy. You are connected by an invisible cord. When they are fighting the connection on their end, you feel the tug on your end. You feel the resistance. You might wonder why they are so hot and cold. One day they seem close, the next they are distant. It is because on the days they are distant, they are winning the battle against their feelings. On the days they seem close, the feelings are winning. They are trying to be good. They are trying to do what is right, according to society or their obligations. They believe that by staying away from you, they are protecting their life from chaos. They think that if they let you in, everything they have built will crumble, and they might be right. True love, soul, deep love, is destructive before it is creative. It burns down everything that isn't real. They know this on a subconscious level, and they are not ready for the fire. You represent a truth they are afraid to face. You represent a life they maybe wish they had chosen, or a version of themselves they have suppressed. So, they keep you in the shadows. They love you in the quiet. They have conversations with you, in their head, that they would never dare to speak out loud. They look at your photo when no one is watching, studying your eyes, wondering if you can feel them too. Do not mistake their inaction for lack of interest. It takes zero effort to ignore someone you don't care about. It takes everything you have to ignore someone your soul is screaming for. The silence is loud. The distance is thick with tension. They are not indifferent. They are paralyzed. They are stuck between the life they are living and the life their soul wants to live with you. This is a painful place to be, for both of you. You are waiting for a sign, and they are doing everything in their power to hide the signs. But the energy cannot be destroyed. It just builds up. It compresses. Like a dam holding back a river, the pressure is rising. Every day they don't speak to you is another drop of water in that dam. Eventually, something has to give. But for now, understand this: their silence is their shield. It is the only way they know how to survive the intensity of what they feel for you. I want you to really reflect on this. Does this resonate with your situation? Can you feel the silent struggle of the person on your mind? I would love to hear your story. Please go to the comments section right now and type, "I trust the timing of my life," if you feel this connection. Share your experience. Are you feeling this push and pull? Let's support each other in this community, because walking this path can feel very lonely, but you are not alone. We are all navigating these deep, spiritual waters together. By realizing that they are fighting themselves, you can stop fighting yourself. You can stop wondering what is wrong with you. You can stop obsessing over why you aren't good enough. It has nothing to do with your worth. You are more than enough. In fact, you are so much that you terrify them. You are the catalyst that is forcing them to confront their own reality. So, take a breath. Release the need to force them to act. Release the anxiety of the silence. Know that in the quiet, they are screaming your name. The battle is theirs to fight. You cannot fight it for them. You can only stand in your own light and know the truth. The connection is real. The love is there. But the timing, that is a mystery we will explore next. Now that we have looked at the silence and the internal battle they are fighting, we need to move deeper. We need to look at the reason why this is happening to you in the first place. You might be asking the universe, why bring this person to me if I cannot have them? Is this some kind of cruel joke? I want you to know right now that the universe does not play jokes on your heart. It does not send love to hurt you, it sends love to grow you. And this brings us to the second profound truth about your forbidden connection. This is the one that might make you cry, but it is also the one that will set you free. The second meaning is this. This connection exists primarily to change who you are, not necessarily to be lived out as a traditional relationship right now. This is the part that is hardest for our human minds to grasp. We are programmed to think that the end goal of every connection is a wedding, a house, and a public label of together. We think if we don't get that, the connection failed. But the soul does not care about labels. The soul cares about evolution. This person entered your life to wake you up. There is a saying that some people come into our lives to stay, and some come to awaken us. This specific person, the one you cannot get out of your head, is an awakener. They are a catalyst. Think about a chemical reaction. A catalyst is something you add to make everything change, to make things bubble and transform. That is what they are to your spirit. Before you met them, you were likely sleepwalking in some areas of your life. You were going through the motions. You had a routine. You thought you knew who you were and what you wanted. Then they showed up, and suddenly everything looked different. They didn't just catch your eye, they caught your soul. They came into your life to show you something specific, and here is the beautiful part. You came into their life to do the exact same thing. You are acting as a mirror for each other. When you look at them, you see things you want. But deeper than that, you see parts of yourself that have been dormant for a long time. Maybe they represent a kind of freedom you have denied yourself. Maybe they represent a creativity or a passion you locked away years ago because you were trying to be responsible. Their presence unlocks those doors in your mind, and you are doing this to them too. Because of you, they are questioning everything. They are questioning their emotional honesty. They are looking at the life they built, perhaps a life that looks perfect on paper, and they are realizing something is missing. They are realizing they have been settling. They are realizing they have been denying their own heart. You are the disruption they needed, even if they are terrified to admit it. This is why the connection feels so powerful, even if nothing real has happened yet. Even if you have never kissed, even if you have never even spoken the words, "I love you," the energy is there, it is valid, it matters. Please do not let anyone tell you that you are foolish for mourning a relationship that never started. It did start. It started the moment your souls recognized each other. A connection like this operates on a soul level, not a social level. Society has rules. Society has timelines. Society says, you can't love this person because of X, Y, and Z. But the soul does not have a rule book. The soul only recognizes truth. And the truth is, you have felt seen by this person in a way you have never felt seen before. You have felt a pull toward growth that you cannot ignore. Think about how much you have changed since you met them. Have you started looking at the world differently? Have you started listening to different music, reading different books, or thinking deeper thoughts? Have you become more aware of your own feelings? That is the purpose of the connection. If the only thing this person ever gave you was this awakening, this return to yourself, it would still be a sacred gift. We often get so obsessed with the physical outcome. We want the text message. We want the date. We want the validation. But if you strip all of that away, look at what remains. What remains is a version of you that is more alive than before. What remains is a version of them that is finally starting to feel again after being numb for so long. This creates a sense of unfinished business. You feel like there is a story that hasn't been written yet. And you are right. But the first chapter of this story isn't about romance. It is about resurrection. It is about bringing dead parts of your heart back to life. That is why you cannot let go. You aren't holding on to a person. You are holding on to the new life they woke up inside of you. When a relationship is forbidden, it strips away the superficial layers. You can't just go to the movies or have a casual dinner. You are forced to connect in the silence. You are forced to connect through energy. This deepens the bond in a way that normal relationships rarely experience. You learn to communicate without words. You learn to feel their mood from miles away. You become attuned to them. This intensity is not an accident. It is designed to burn away your fears. It is pushing you to ask yourself, what do I really believe about love? Am I brave enough to want this? Am I brave enough to be this authentic? These are scary questions. And that is why the person on the other end is running. They are not ready to answer those questions yet. They are looking at the mirror you are holding up, and they are scared of what they see. They see a potential for happiness that threatens their current comfort zone. So, they retreat. They go silent. But even in their silence, the work is being done. The seed has been planted. You cannot see what you have seen. They cannot feel what they have felt. The transformation has already begun. And there is no going back to how things were before. You have both been altered by this encounter. I want you to take a moment and think about the biggest change this person has triggered in you. Have they made you more patient? Have they made you realize you deserve more? Have they made you more spiritual? I would love for you to share this in the comments. Write down, I am growing through this love. Let's affirm that this pain has a purpose. By acknowledging the growth, you take back your power. You stop being a victim of the situation and start being a student of the lesson. Do not measure the value of this connection by how much time you spend together physically. Measure it by how much it has expanded your heart. Measure it by the depth of the emotion you are capable of feeling. Some people live their whole lives and never feel the intensity you are feeling right now. It is painful, yes. It is frustrating, absolutely. But it is also a sign that you are alive. It is a sign that your heart is open. This person, this forbidden love is your teacher. And right now, the lesson is not about possession. It is not about getting them. The lesson is about becoming yourself. It is about realizing that love is not something you grab. It is something you become. And as you become this new version of yourself, you change the energy between you and them. You reflect the light back to them. And eventually, even the most stubborn person cannot ignore the light forever. They might be closing their eyes right now, but the sun is still shining on them. You are that sun. Your love is that light. And whether they step into it today, tomorrow, or in 10 years, the fact remains you have touched their soul, and they have touched yours. So, as we move through this journey, try to shift your perspective. Instead of seeing the forbidden sign as a rejection, see it as a protection. It is keeping things paused until both of you are ready for the reality of what this love demands. Because a love this strong requires two very strong people to hold it. And maybe, just maybe, life is giving you the time to build that strength. My child, we have talked about their silent battle. And we have talked about the spiritual mirror they are holding up to you. But now we need to address the question that keeps you up at night. The question that makes you doubt your own sanity. You ask yourself, why can't I just let go? You have probably tried. You have probably told yourself 1,000 times that this is ridiculous. You have looked in the mirror and said, it's over. Nothing is happening. I need to move on. You might have even deleted their number or tried to block them out of your mind. You have listened to friends who tell you that if they wanted to be with you, they would be. Logic tells you to walk away, but your soul stays put. This brings us to a critical realization about why this bond feels so permanent. You are not dealing with a normal attraction here. You are dealing with a connection that operates on a soul level, not a social one. Social connections follow rules. They follow timelines. They make sense to your logical brain. You meet, you date, you commit. If it doesn't work, you break up and you move on. That is the social contract. But soul connections do not read that rule book. They exist outside of time. They exist outside of logic. The reason you cannot fully let go, no matter how hard you try, is because your soul knows something your brain does not. You are not holding on to a fantasy. That is the biggest lie you tell yourself. You think you are imagining things. You think you are projecting your desires onto someone who doesn't care. But deep down, you know that isn't true. You are not holding on to a fake idea. You are holding on to a truth that simply hasn't been given permission to exist yet. Think about that phrase, a truth that hasn't had permission to exist. The love is real. The chemistry is real. The potential is real. It is a solid, existing thing in the universe. But right now, in the 3D world, it is blocked. It hasn't been given the green light by circumstance, by timing, or by the other person's courage. But just because a door is locked doesn't mean the room behind it disappears. The room is still there. The feelings are still there. This is why they keep returning to your mind. You might go days or weeks without thinking of them, feeling like you have finally broken free. And then, out of nowhere, they flood back in. You hear a song, or you wake up from a dream where they were so vivid it felt like reality. This isn't an accident. It is because the energy between you is unfinished. Unfinished business haunts us. It demands a resolution. The universe does not like loose ends, and this connection is a massive loose end. You feel them because they are feeling you. Remember, this is a two-way street. When you get that sudden urge to check on them, or that sudden wave of sadness, it is often a reflection of their own internal state. They are thinking about you, and that energy travels. It disregards distance. It disregards silence. It lands right in your heart. So when you try to let go, you are trying to fight a current that is much stronger than your willpower. This struggle creates a lot of confusion. You feel stuck in limbo. You aren't together, but you aren't apart. You are in the gray zone. And the gray zone is the hardest place to live. But you must understand that this stuck feeling is actually a period of incubation. Nothing grows without a period of darkness. A seed sits in the dirt, in total darkness, before it breaks the surface. Right now, this relationship is in the dirt. It looks like nothing is happening. It looks dead. But underneath, the roots are trying to find water. This leads us to the most important factor in this entire equation: time. We hate time. We want everything now. We live in a world of instant gratification. If we send a text, we want a reply in 3 seconds. If we want a relationship, we want it today. But the universe operates on divine timing, not human timing. And in this specific connection, time is actually your best friend, even if it feels like your enemy. Why is time so important? Because time reveals what fear hides. Right now, the person you want is hiding behind their fear. They are hiding behind their obligations, their doubts, and their insecurities. Fear is like a thick fog. It obscures the truth. When you are in the fog, you can't see where you are going, so you stand still. That is where they are. They are standing still because they are scared. but time clears the fog. As time passes, fear begins to lose its grip. What felt impossible a year ago might feel possible today. What feels scary today might feel necessary tomorrow. People change. We are not static statues. We are constantly evolving. The person they are today is not the person they will be in 6 months or a year. They are going through their own process of erosion. The barriers that stand in their way, whether it is a bad marriage, a demanding career, or low self-worth, are being chipped away by time. Some people eventually outgrow the lives they built when they weren't listening to their hearts. They built a life based on shoulds. I should marry this person. I should take this job. I should live in this city. But eventually the soul wakes up and says, this doesn't fit anymore. That is often when the forbidden connection becomes possible. It happens when the pain of staying the same becomes greater than the fear of change. You are waiting for that tipping point, and you cannot force it. You cannot rush it. If you try to force a butterfly out of its cocoon too early, it will die. It needs the struggle to strengthen its wings. This person needs their struggle. They need to come to the realization on their own. If you try to convince them, if you try to chase them, you will only push them further into their fear. You have to let time do the heavy lifting. This requires an immense amount of trust. It requires you to surrender. Surrender does not mean giving up. It means stopping the fight against the current. It means saying, I know what I feel is true, and I trust that if it is meant to be, the path will clear. It is a state of active waiting. You continue your life. You focus on your own joy. You don't put your life on hold, but you keep a quiet space in your heart open for the truth. There is a chance, and we must be honest here, that they may never find the courage. Some people never act. Some people choose safety over love until the very end. That is a possibility. But even if that happens, the connection was not a waste. It still served its purpose of waking you up. However, in many of these deep, intense connections, the pull is too strong to resist forever. The truth is like water. It eventually finds a way through the cracks. So, if you are feeling exhausted from trying to move on, stop trying so hard. Stop fighting your own feelings. Accept them. Say to yourself, I love them. I miss them. And right now, we can't be together. And that is okay. Acceptance brings peace. Resistance brings pain. When you accept the reality of the moment, you stop suffering. You realize that you are not crazy. You are just early. You felt the truth before the world was ready to show it to you. I want you to affirm your trust in this process. Go to the comments and write, I trust the timing of my life. Put that out into the universe. Release the desperate need to control the outcome and replace it with a calm knowing. The bond exists. It is real. It is sacred. And it is unfolding exactly as it needs to, even in the silence. My child, we are reaching the end of this message, but this is perhaps the most critical part you need to hear. We have talked about the silence, the awakening, and the waiting. But now we need to talk about the future and, most importantly, about you. You might be wondering what the final verdict is. Will this person ever step forward? The truth is simple, but powerful. if this connection is meant to become something you can touch and hold in the real world. It will happen only when honesty becomes heavier than fear. Right now, fear is winning. Fear of change, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. But as we discussed, time erodes fear. For the relationship to shift from a silent energy into a tangible reality, the person on the other end needs to reach a point where the pain of not having you is worse than the fear of rearranging their life. Honesty must outweigh the risk. Until that tipping point is reached, the bond will continue to exist in silence. It will remain intense, meaningful, and yes, unfinished. But while you wait, or while you choose to move forward with your own life, there is one final message you must internalize. This is for the nights you feel small. This is for the moments you feel foolish. Do not, for 1 second, doubt your importance in this story. The mind loves to play tricks on us. It tells us, if they aren't here, I must not matter. It tells us, I am just a distraction to them. It tells us, I am a mistake. You need to delete those words from your vocabulary right now. You are not a distraction. A distraction is something you use to kill time. A distraction is a video game or a meaningless fling. You are not that. You are an earthquake in their soul. You are not a mistake. You are a divine intervention. You are not just someone they met. You are a force of nature that has permanently altered the trajectory of their emotional life. Think of yourself as a mirror. When they look at you, they don't just see a person, they see the truth they have been hiding from. You are a catalyst. You are the spark that started a fire they cannot put out. You are a reminder of what real, raw feeling is supposed to be. In a world that is often numb and fake, you made them feel something real. That is a powerful role to play. It is a sacred role. Do not minimize it just because you don't have a ring on your finger or a label on the relationship yet. Whether this story ends with you walking into the sunset together, or whether it remains a powerful lesson that you both carry forever, it was never meaningless. Nothing this intense is ever without purpose. If it becomes lived love, that is a blessing. If it remains a lesson, that is also a blessing, because it pushed you to grow. It taught you that your heart is capable of deep, profound love. It taught you that you are alive. So, walk with your head high. You are not the victim of a forbidden love. You are the master of a deep spiritual lesson. You have loved without promise. You have felt without touching. You have grown in the silence. That makes you incredibly strong. Carry that strength with you. Let it fuel your own life, your own dreams, and your own happiness. If they are meant to join you, they will catch up. If not, you are already soaring. If this message resonated with your soul, if you felt seen and understood today, please take a moment to support this channel. If you found value in these words, don't forget to like this video. It helps us reach more people who are hurting and confused just like you were. Share this with someone who might be silently suffering in a complex relationship. And please, subscribe to our channel. We are building a community of people who are not afraid to talk about the deep, messy, beautiful parts of life. Hit that bell icon so you never miss a message that might be meant exactly for you. Thank you for your support, and thank you for trusting us with your heart today. Remember, the universe makes no mistakes, and neither did you.